Nope. Get out your pre-roll dice. Make sure that they're good and nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not using you tonight.
There we go.
Ooh, roll out my ones.
So as everybody gets set up, let's recap last week. Not a whole lot happened, but a few interesting things did happen last week. One, Yasin firmly took command of his 4 frigates, naming the first one the High Phoenix. That's right, the High Phoenix. And so now he has his flagship where he commands from. He's got his schwanky admiral's hat, matching his jacket that he's wearing. Got a chance to meet some of the crew. Some of them that you found out are from the kingdom of Camelot, and that Persian had come across them in his travels as he was acquiring the ships, and basically they're kind of refugees from Camelot. And so at least 5 people aboard the flagship are from there. They had worked and talked together that Captain Cassire will lead 2 of the ships, and Yasin will command the other 2 in the event that they split or if there is a battle or things like that. So they worked out some strategies together, and off they went to the edge of the world. On your way to the edge of the world, everybody kind of split up and did their own things. Kieran and Keladri, I do want you to think of what you might have done in this time. As everybody sailed out to the edge of the world, we will kind of do a flashback role play with the 2 of you to see if anything interesting did happen. But as far as the rest of the crew, Yasin started to train in earnest, wearing this jacket that has been weighed down with the weights of Kiva Lass's cape. He's picking up barrels. People are cheering for him as he's doing different exercises, practicing his sword play. And then Mud starts jumping into it because being the arena fighter that she is, a good workout is just, she's like, yeah, let's go. And so Yasin agreed to start training with Mud. What that means is that Yasin is going to be dead every single night that he trains, but his acceleration is doubled. So maybe by the end of this voyage, he will be comfortable with the coat and will not receive penalties while wearing it. So they started doing that. And of course, I got his, let me bring up my notes. Jormkins. Jormkin was trying to be a little flirtatious and tried to pick up Mud's hammer and totally failed at that. Could barely curl it with 2 arms. So he's a little deflated from all of that. Grim and Hiccup started to develop a friendship as she's working with him to incorporate the lightsaber from Kiva Lass into her metal arm and to sort of trigger it Assassin's Creed style so she can, flick it out and be able to control that. And Hiccup is super engaged and interested in it, both in the workings of the lightsaber and in the workings of her arm. And the 2 of them kind of showed off their blades. Hiccup's his flame sword that he created, functioning in a similar fashion to the lightsaber, just through technology with dragon venom and things like that. And then Estrella, she went below decks to try and have a moment and reconnect with Lunas. And while getting into this meditative trance state, she was brought back to the very first time she had come to the Temple of Lunas, meeting some of the patrons that were there, the other clerics and paladins who were a part of the order. And this was a very young Estrella who had just ran from her village. The scars of watching her loved ones turn into zombies, chase her, try to kill her, kill each other, all of that being fresh in her mind as she kind of comes to the temple doors and meets the old matron who Lenore, who sort of heads this place right now and has kind of taken Estrella under her wing. And of course, Leodin, who is just a dick of a human, honestly, who finds every opportunity to kind of poke Estrella and just kind of, sees her as a peasant, if you will. Not that his beginnings were any different. So that's what everybody had done. Eventually, they got to the edge of the world, and you all kind of saw what Hiccup and his uncle were talking about, that literally the land stopped, as if whatever used to exist was stripped away, ripped from the rest of the realm. Estrella, Grimm, and Alexander combined their powers to reach through the fold to try and see if they could touch another realm, if this was a thin spot, like Grimm had done before, the Tavern. And they did manage to open the fold large enough to see the kingdom of Camelot on the other side. We know this from the others who were on board from there, recognizing their land. They were unable to keep it open long enough to figure out how to travel from the ship, literally like 200 feet to get to where the portal is. But in kind of a last-ditch effort to create an anchor for Camelot, Grimm infuses a bit of her magic into the cursed gem that she got from Nim and throws it across the portal, and it lands on one of the ramparts of Camelot's walls. And as the portal closes, Grimm is able to feel this anchor. There is a connection that she has to that realm now that perhaps could be traveled in the future. And before we ended the night, everyone got a chance to see another vision from the other party. Zeroku and Norshella, the alternate Nim, Link, Zelda, and Toblin. In that vision, Nim met her parents, who were not her parents, but your Nim's parents. And they freaked out, and the mother was catatonic and the father was livid. And in the end, they had to convince them that while it may not be their Nim, it's a Nim, and that's better than nothing. And Zeroku and Norshella took lead in this conversation to work with the father to learn more about the lineage of Thonis, as that is important. And before the vision faded, they watched as Zeroku and Norshella were led up the stairs to a back study where Nim's father has all of these books of lineage and history that dating back to their ancestry to Thonis. But one interesting thing that Norshella said, she identified with Nim's father, with Lord Saku, saying that she knows what it's like to be connected to a dragon because her family's lineage dates back to a brass dragon. And that is how she uses her lightning magic. So just clues there that everyone knows and everyone should remember. So we're going to start tonight's session with Kieran and Kelladry. As the ship was sailing and heading to the edge of the world, before you saw all of that and were told the vision, what were the two of you doing? It's about a 2 to 3 hour voyage from Hiccup's island of Burke to the edge of the world. What were you doing during that time? What happened? Was there anybody that you wanted to talk to? Anything that you wanted to do, to train, to learn?
Do you want to go first?
Okay, if you want to.
I know Kelladry wanted to play around with the stone in her chest and maybe see if she could explore some of her portal powers or to kind of learn about it a little bit.
Okay. How would you like to do that?
I don't know, is that something I just have to like,
Meditate.
yeah, meditate and get in touch with, like inner self?
Sure. And you can go below decks like Estrella did and find a quiet place. You can go to the highest roost on the ship, since Keldry does seem to like being the hawk and the roost, if you will. You can just go to the edge of the boat, anywhere you want to go to kind of calm yourself.
I think I'll go up to the roost. That sounds sounds
Most like
perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Sounds good. As you kind of climb up the rigging and make your way up the center mast to the top roost, you do encounter a young Eric Cochran female up there. She is kind of red plumage, very macaw-like in her colors. She's got a bandana wrapped around her head very tightly, wearing a simple purple vest and some brown pants. And she kind of looks at you and she goes, here, coming up here and hang out with the bird and the roost, huh? Oh, that's right, swell of you. Welcome to my little home up here. My name is Kane. Welcome. I tend to make this spot mine. Please excuse some of the mess. And as you kind of look around, there's like magazines, scraps, and food, and it looks like a bird's nest, like legitimately, like it is a nest up there of just crap that she's had. And she's like, they need me up here. I keep lookout, and so I don't go down very often. I mean, I'm the only one on the ship who can fly. But now that you're up here, maybe I can get some time off. Who might you be?
I'm Keldry. We're headed to the edge. I was just wondering if maybe I could take up some space for a little bit.
Keldry. Oh, that's a nice. I like that name. Okay. Yeah, sure. Look, I tell you what, if you don't mind kind of just keeping an eye out in case you see another ship or an iceberg or something weird like that, I'm going to just it's a Titanic joke. That's okay, Grim. So I'm just going I'm just gonna take a break and kind of fly down. You cool with that?
Yeah, go for it. I say I've got things covered.
That's great. I'm gonna go get a cracker or something. And she just kind of hops onto the edge of the railing, and you see this. It's a double railing that goes around the roost, and then she just kind of winks at you and just kind of flies down. And she just does this little spiral pattern down the main mast. Lands on the bottom and kind of goes below deck to where all the foodstuffs are. So you're alone. You're alone up on the roost, Keldry. How are you going to center yourself? What's your thought process?
I'm just gonna take a seat, and then I'm kind of just look out over the ocean and just let the nature, the calming effects of the water and the air kind of take hold, and then I'll see what I can sense.
Roll Arcana.
Arcana.
Let's see what you find.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, that was bad. Oh, yikes. That's an 8.
Okay. This is new to you. Trying to get in touch with Faerunian magic. You have always known it's there, but you never knew that you could control it. And so this first time that you reach inside of yourself and try to make contact with this power that you've always associated being your grandmother's power, it's her stuff, she uses it, she put it in me, you realize this is your own. And you touch it for the first time going, this is mine, I'm going to control it. And I want you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Sorry, the dog's taking up most of the couch, so we're rolling on the floor. Okay. Yeah, 19.
19. When you kind of grab hold of this gem inside of you, this crystal, it immediately sends a jolt of electricity through your body. And you have just enough control to sort of siphon it away. You let it travel. It courses through every finger, every toe. You feel it move up and down your spine. You sort of just center it out versus letting it kind of attack your heart, where this crystal seems to be. And as the pain subsides, you feel a warmth. And the warmth starts to grow in your chest. And it almost feels like you're holding a small sun in the center of your body.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with your son?
Ah,
Put him to sleep.
No. That is the idea.
Wow.
I'm gonna just try to take hold of it with my mind and just see if I can touch it or gain any knowledge or power from it.
Roll insight.
Uh, 15.
In your mind's eye, the ocean has fallen away from you. You can just barely hear the sound of the waves lap against the boats as they're traveling down this ocean. And instead, you kind of hear a heartbeat that's coming from this sun. And you hold it in your hands. And you can almost see it right in front of you. And if anybody looked up to the top of the roost, it would take a keen eye. But if anybody saw you up there, they would see you with your hands outstretched as if you were holding a sphere in your hand. As you look into it and study it, you see a little girl staring back at you. It's you, but very, very young. The age that you were when you were tossed through the portal with your grandmother, the age when you first came to Nar Shaddaa, you see that little girl staring at you. And as you move your head left and right, she moves in time with you. If you blink, she blinks. If you raise your hand, she raises her hand. It's a perfect mirror image of you as a child.
Yeah. Should I try and talk to her?
Yeah. go for it.
Can I talk to her or should I, is it just like kind of just an image that I have?
Go for it.
I'm just gonna look at her and say, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna ask her, do you know how to use this power? How I can control it? Is that too direct?
You can ask whatever you want. Don't worry. I'm just doing some rolls in the background to see how I want to answer. Okay, interesting. Roll the same thing twice. D&D is telling me how to play this. She looks back at you, and for the first time, she moves her head opposite yours as she listens to your question. And you hear your voice, but it's hard to remember what you sound like as a child, but you feel like, yeah, this is me. Like this really is me. And you hear her and she goes, well, if I knew how to do that, I wouldn't have gotten lost in the portal.
She's sassy. All right then.
Who are you?
I'm you in the future self.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. I look strong.
Yeah, you're pretty awesome. Um, is there anything you can remember?
I remember feeling lost. And when I focused on that feeling, I lost control. And that's when I wound up Well, you know where I wound up. You're me. Silly. But for a moment, I thought I knew what I could do. I saw a road, and I thought if I could run down that road, I'd find home. But the road looked scary, and I never been down there before, and I didn't want to go, and so I just turned away from the road to see if there was someone who could help me, but then I got lost.
Okay. Can you show me?
Hmm.
I was gonna ask her, can you show me where the road is?
Make an Arcana check.
Hmm.
Oh, 19, that's good. 20.
Nat 20?
No, 19 plus 1.
Okay, still. All right. All right. I'm like, geez, she's on a roll. I think so. It's not really like a place, it's a feeling. Do you remember what it was like when mom would cook for us? We were pretty young.
I think,
Has it been too long for you?
I think I might remember. Yes.
So the way the house smelled
Mm-hmm.
and kind of that feeling that you would get right before she served the plate, it's like that. If you can hold on to those feelings, well, sometimes I can see the road
Mm.
and it comes out in front of me, but I'm always too scared to go down. But you're older and you're strong, and I think you could walk the road. You just have to hold on to that feeling of home.
Mm. Okay. All right. Well, that was very helpful. Thank you.
I hope so. I'm gonna go play now. You want to come with me?
I'm good. Maybe later.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. Be kind of fun playing against myself. I wonder what would happen.
I'd probably win.
Oh, I like you. Well, I like me. Okay, I'm gonna go now. And you watch her take her hands off the orb because it looked, being a mirror image, like she was holding it too. And you see her fade into this kaleidoscope of color that everybody recognizes as the Tavern's colors, the mist, the nebula that surrounds the world between worlds. And she's waving at you, and then everything fades, and you come back to yourself, back to the ship. Everything, the smell of the ocean rushes to you, and you hear the flapping of wings. Oh, you're still here. Wow, that's well, that's good. I was worried. I don't know. I was down there a while, about an hour or two. We should be getting close to the edge of it. I should probably take my post before somebody notices I was gone.
Okay.
We didn't encounter anything, right? It was clear.
Clear as far as I could see. I was
Roll-
paying close attention.
I won't make you roll deception. Be like, what the hell? That's fine. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that's great. Well, you got up here, so I'm sure you can find your way back down. You're welcome to stay. I mean, you can hang out with. I don't mind. I just.
I think I'll head down now. Go check on the rest of my party. I want to get away even.
Kane's a weird one. And so down you go. In fact, you take one of the ringings and just kind of loop your bow around it, and you can slide all the way down to the main deck quite easily, and you hop off. And yeah, so what you've discovered is your magic, if you will, is connected to your emotions. And at least as far as your younger self is concerned, centering on feelings of home, of love, of comfort, of safety seems to bring the road into focus, whatever this road means or is. And so that's your new bit of knowledge for your powers.
Got it.
Kieran, what have you been up to as Caladri was in the roost talking to herself and the others were training and tinkering and things like that? What were you doing?
Did Gobber give me any like parchments or papers of like schematics or any kind of like information along with this quest to get these minerals? I can't remember exactly what they were called.
Yes. So what you're getting from the dwarves is tungsten that you need. That's the main ore that they are in control of in their mountain. And you have not just that as a listed out material and kind of the different weights that are needed for it, 5 grams here, a kilo there. Like he's got very specific notes on each part and what the weight of tungsten is needed for it. But he also drew out for you some very rough schematics and gave you enough material that if you wanted to tinker on things from your end with your specialty, you could get started.
Okay, I might start doing that. See if I can at least, well, thinking through and referring to the schematics, is there any like timings around like the infusions and how best they collect? Like I'm like kind of figuring out how best to time pieces in order to like this one infuse this and then attach it with this, kind of those kinds of things.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna try to work on, how about this? I'll choose a random one of their pieces to start on. And I'll just start trying to infuse it.
Okay. Roll roll artificer for me. No, there's well, I'm trying to think of what the best roll for that would be.
Fine.
Give me a combination of investigation and sleight of hand.
Investigation, sleight of hand. All right, look at those numbers.
So roll once and then add those 2 numbers to it.
Okay. That is 23.
Okay. What you were discovering is that Gobber's handwriting sucks. And you were just looking, this is like chicken scratch, but his drawings are immaculate. And you're able to read that and go, okay, I know the heart of what he's trying to get to, but he's not saying it right. Gobber is not the most articulate man that you've ever worked with, but his schematics are a thing of beauty. And you're looking at them and you can almost see them in 3-dimensional space when you kind of think about them, and you're rotating it in your mind's eye and you're starting to pick up different pieces. He's left you some scales, some shavings from the mandible that was cut off. And you're starting to work with these and you're realizing that part of it is mechanical, what you're doing, but what you're missing is the magical infusion. So you can put the pieces where they need to go. You can start to weld them together. But in order to make it turn on, if you will, you need a magical component. And that's that tungsten ore that you're going to get from the dwarves. There's just one little note that he kind of writes on there. And he goes, and you kind of hear him in his voice going, maybe it's cursed. Maybe not. I don't know. And that's just what you kind of see next to all the different measurements of tungsten ore that you need. But what you gather from that is that the ore is magically conductive, and that the properties of the dragon hide that was killed become activated and sort of connected through this ore. Steel, gold, platinum, none of it would do it. None of it is as conductive as dwarven tungsten ore.
Have I encountered tungsten ore in my past? And do I know if it can conduct magical properties? Could it conduct other magical properties as well than just kind of pieces from this realm as far as dragons?
Roll history with advantage.
Let's see. Oh. Oh, so close. 17 plus 7 is 24.
Okay.
I have a high history.
um, you have never encountered tungsten ore. That is unique to this land where Burke exists and where these dwarves are. What you have encountered is obsidian. And when you read Gobber's notes on everything, it's very, very similar to obsidian. And where you come from, you're very familiar with how obsidian is a magical conductor, that a lot of mages would use that. Their amulets that your own people would make with the soul stones would have obsidian shards and pieces embedded into it in order to amplify the power of the crystals that your people would mine. And so you look at tungsten ore and you go, I bet it functions like obsidian.
Fascinating.
And the best way that I'd like you to think about obsidian and how tungsten could function based on your knowledge and your role, it's an amplifier. Think of it as whatever you attach it to, it will amplify what the properties that are naturally inherent in that object. Shadow and bone. This is an amplifier.
I'm gonna like stand up and stretch. Having hit like a breakthrough for the day, I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna wander the ship of the underbelly. Having been on ships before, for some reason today, Kieran is a little bit seasick, and so he'll just kind of walk up and try to get some air.
Sure. You would actually kind of run into Estrella at this point, as Estrella is kind of hearing people kind of call out the edge of the world. The two of you reach each other. Is there anything that the two of you would like to say to each other? I'll give you this one moment.
Yeah, I'll kind of like come up like all like, you know, I've got like papers and stuff underneath my arm, look like a crazy person who's been studying. Oh, how are you? It's been quite an adventurous couple of days, huh?
Chris, this is after I've had my flashbacks.
Yep.
Okay, great. I'm like a little sweaty and also a little frazzled, and I'm like,
Nice.
yeah, it's been what you working on? What you working on?
Couple of fun little upgrades. I'll call them for maybe perhaps for some of the party members. So yeah, just nothing crazy, but a little fun. Need some tungsten ore, also known as obsidian, is what I'm working on currently.
Interesting. So I'll keep my eye out, and at this point, we will continue upstairs.
Yeah, I'll keep going.
So as the call goes out, Keladri are already on deck, so you would have seen everything from Camelot. Kieran, do you poke your head above deck when you hear them kind of say, "We've reached the edge of the world"? Like, do you pop up and see all of that, or do you pop up afterwards?
Yeah, I'll pop up right about then.
Yep. And so everybody sees the edge of the world. Everybody sees the portal to Camelot. Grim throwing it over the gem, it closing. Yeet the gem. And then another guy named Isildur, and she eats him too. And then
Sorry.
let's see, what
Shut
what else? And kind of all of that closes, and then this vision that everybody sees. I want to give you all a chance before we part ways and sail off to our different destinations, and kind of, you know, Yormkin, Hiccup's uncle, kind of comes up and he goes, I don't think it would make a whole lot of sense to camp, if you will, for the night out on the sea. So I'd ask that the party get prepared, get what you need, grab all the goods that you can hold, and make your way to the different ships. I'll be staying here with Yasin and his flagship of the High Phoenix. In about an hour's time, we'll head over to the Dwarven Kingdom. Captain Persian Cashire over there will be commanding his ships to head over to the Dragon Queen and her kingdom. So about an hour. Just want to let you all know that. Hiccup, make sure you get what you need, boy, and head over to the other ships. Yeah, I got you. I can just making a couple, and he's like making a couple drawings and sketches based on your arm, Grim. He's like, I just need a. Okay, yeah, there. Got it. All right, that'll work. Okay, I'll work on this some tonight, Grim, and then in the morning we can get to it. Yeah. And he just, finger guns you and then walks away.
Mud's just going to grab supplies, and of course it's going to be way more than anybody else can grab.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's even fair, but yeah.
Yeah, you do. And these supplies, you can kind of.
If they're not the right ones, somebody tell me. But like,
No,
just
you're
grabbed
fine.
a bunch of
Yeah, you grab supplies, and so basically what you've done is Mud has separated a chunk of the supplies for the High Phoenix and her sister ship that will be going off to the dwarves, and you watch Hiccup and some of the others from the other two ships' crew kind of go through the remaining supplies and pick up and start to transfer things and split them between the two crews. That's going to be happening. Hiccup kind of before he leaves has a moment with the party. He goes, I don't mean to eavesdrop, but I did overhear you all talking a bit about this vision, Grim and Estrella, that the two of you had about another party out there and this Thonis and everything. Look, this is some heavy shit. I'm not gonna lie. And I've heard about people descending from dragons before. It's rare. Very, very rare. But here in Burke, you hear tales of that. Dragons can apparently shapeshift. So I've heard. Now, Toothless and the others, none of them have ever shown the ability to do anything like that, but ancient dragons, old ones, well, they could, apparently, take the guise of humans or others. In that form, I wouldn't be surprised that a dragon could mate with a human female and produce offspring who would be half dragon. It's crazy and kind of exciting, but be careful. Good night. I will, Grim, Estrella, and Caladri, I'll see you aboard the other ship when you come over. And he sort of heads over, he hops onto Toothless's back and he goes, come on, boy. And Toothless just 1, 2, and jumps into the air. And as the sun starts to set, you catch his silhouette as he circles the boats and then lands on the ship that he'll be staying on. What would the party, would you like to talk about what you saw, discuss the vision, have any kind of plan of strategy before we split it up?
Yeah. So I'm gonna look grim. Dragons can shapeshift. You got magic for that or no, bro?
Magic to make it happen?
No, to figure out if if we're talking to a person or a dragon.
Oh damn. Oh my gosh.
You're in roll history.
Okay. Let's see. Where is that? Son of a. Thought it was gonna be over here. Ugh. I got 19.
Okay. In your father's study, the time that you snuck in there and read his journals and things, there was mention of a technique where you could suss out whether or not a person was who they say they were. It's not difficult magic. It's just not 100% reliable. But you do have a method where you could briefly probe somebody's mind and see if they are who they say they are. And you figure it could work on a dragon changing their shape.
Okay. So it's a possibility. I probably would be able to tell, but I
Alright,
haven't tried it, so
interesting.
it's a maybe.
Okay, so we just need to be like really careful who we talk to.
Well, just don't be insulting dragons, I guess.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't see why if they're human and they're or in their human state and they're a dragon, why they would be any more dangerous. I just wouldn't talk freely in front of anybody we meet anyways.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Unless it's me, you, and Kelladry.
We have our thingies, right?
Yes, we have our
Yep.
stones of far speech, I believe.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, as a group, I guess we can discuss like eventually what we want to do about the other group,
Okay.
but doesn't seem like a pressing matter at this given time, but I could be wrong.
I feel like Chris is gonna use it against us out of game talk
Um,
for it. So I'm scared.
Yeah. That's why I said we could talk about it. I just don't know what we can do about it. Unless I could try to use my stone to see if I could pick something up later or now, whatever.
I guess it's not a problem unless we get bad vibes.
Roku has a stone. But Mud wouldn't know that.
Yes, Zeroku does have a stone. We gave him one.
Yes.
Okay, that was spoken out loud. Now Mud knows.
Mud knows now.
Now
Cool.
you know. I guess we
Okay.
can contact him.
If he has a stone, he's gonna hear everything we say.
No.
No,
No,
you can
only-
specially like talk
We
to
have to
Oh.
like call him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
when Eli was away and he called me.
Yep.
I mean, Yastin.
Yes,
Okay.
but you have to focus. So you have to focus on which stone you want to connect to, and you can connect to that. It's a little bit of magic and a whole lot of pixie dust, basically.
Mud's just gonna lean over and be like, I do not have stone.
Kieran, I'm going to say that you have extras that you've been tinkering with, so you are the keeper of the stones.
Keeper of the stones. I'm gonna give one to Mud.
Oh. Thank you.
And then while I'm also like kind of
Does
passing them out,
Kelladry have one?
You do now.
You do now.
I'll pass her one. I'm also gonna tell her about what the list of items that Gobber needs for some of these pieces so that the other team knows, because I haven't actually told the other team what they need to get from dragons. They just needs a couple of scales. I'll give them all the specifics, which
Yep.
I don't know, 'cause I can't read Gobber's handwriting.
Sales. That's it. Just some sales.
Yes, you need some
Scales,
that's
and
it.
then did I need claws from the actual dragons, or was it that just from Toothless?
Just from you got what you needed from Toothless, and then you just need some additional scales from a different breed of dragon.
Different breed of the dragon.
Okay, noted.
Was there a specific breed? I can't quite make it out, so just anything that you can find.
Okay, well, we can find.
That'll work.
Take
If
a
we
scale off of every dragon you see.
If we get fish scales, do you think he'll notice?
Yeah, per dragon.
Fish scales.
Is this against dragon etiquette?
It was a wee little dragon.
Am I getting spanked? Wow.
Chris, when you say dragons can shapeshift, can they just look like a human and that's what they look like when they're human, or can they look like us?
That's a good question. You'll have to find out.
Oh, like shapeshift into our persons.
Yeah, or like look like
This is
Estrella
gonna be
or
a
Grim. Yeah.
cluster.
Concerned, so we probably need. I was gonna joke about us having a code word, but maybe we should, just in case we suspect that one of us is a dragon trying to infiltrate the group.
Pineapple.
I've been a dragon this whole time.
What I would
Just try not to
recommend,
die.
just to make this fun,
Code word, secrets. something?
because I like the idea of a code word. So here, to keep this fun, to keep it fair,
Hopscotch.
don't tell me.
Oh, cool.
Hey,
So you can
That is
send it to each other, whatever it is, have your
But
own.
not on the D&D chat because he sees that.
Yeah, so make a sub chat with the whole
I
group,
got it.
and agree to a code word or a phrase or whatever it is that you want to do. And should the event that anytime a doppelganger situation happens, you now have this, and there's no way I could possibly guess the code. Just makes it more fun because I am going to try and guess the code.
He just wants to be in the game. He was like, I want to play.
Yeah, this sounds like fun. So cool. So you all can figure that out. Is there
Okay.
anything else that the group wants to talk about before we take a long rest? Yes, Grim.
Oh, I was gonna say someone else start this group chat. For some reason, I can't make one.
okay, I'll start it.
I'm stuck. I don't know what's happening.
Gotcha.
If something big happens that we need to talk to each other through the stones of star speech,
Yeah.
or just a little checkup here and there because we're usually gone for days and days away from each other. Make sure y'all ain't dead.
Daily check-ins, got it.
Oh, yeah.
But as mud.
But that's month. Daily check-ins, got it. Yes.
But as mud.
Captain Persian Cassire kind of walks up now. Night is starting to come on full blast as the stars appear in the sky above you. And as he walks up, you just hear the click of his boots, and he goes, "Well, all right, party. I think it's time for us to part ways, Admiral. I hope you trust me with the other two ships. I'll bring them back to you in one piece. Any standing orders I should be aware of, sir? Admiral.
Y'all send her.
Admiral."
Oh, what? I guess I'm just gonna look him in the eye and say, "Be excellent and stay alive."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fine. Be excellent. Like I said, I can do that. I can do that,
Excellent.
Admiral. I'll keep the crew's life as my main priority. The ship can go down, but the people will live. And he kind of gives you a wink. And he goes, "Ladies, I believe you will be traveling with me this evening." And he looks at Grim, Estrella, and Kelladry and goes, "I look forward to the voyage. I hear it's about a 5-day trek from where we are now to the lair of the Dragon Queen." I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to get to know each other, eh, Grim?
Just gonna.
I'm going this way. I'm just walk. I'm like, is that you calling me, Mom?
It's like,
Wait, you're dead.
as you walk past him, the captain looks to the other ship as it's pulling in close now, really coming alongside the High Phoenix, and he goes, "Drop the plank. Let's see if we connect our two beasts together so these lovely ladies can walk across. I'll be there in just a moment." Yasin, the captain, turns to you and the rest of the crew, Mud and Kieran, who are going to be traveling to the Dwarven Kingdom. From what I understand, here in these waters, it's about a similar distance, by about 5, maybe 6 days to the Dwarven Kingdom. Word of caution to you, I have heard many things about the dwarves. None of them good, none of them pleasant. But they could be just rumors. One thing that I have heard is that they're not actually from this realm. Now, I can't confirm that. It could be they're from Faerun. It could be they're from some other land that has dwarves. I don't know. Never met them myself, but keep that in mind in your dealings with them. They might not actually be from here. I don't know if that'll have any bearing, but it's as much as I know about the Dwarven kingdoms. Any last words, parting remarks? None of you need to worry about twisting my nipples. I got Australia on the other one for that, so we're good there.
Well, I'm glad it's her and not
That seems very
kinky.
weird.
Oh, that's right, love. You're new to the party. Yeah, no, she brought me back from death by literally the purple nurple of life. It was exhilarating. You had to be
Like
there.
that.
If I am that near death, just let me die.
Ah, all right, good lady.
He got it for free.
Yasin will get you. It's all good.
I've already tried too many times. I can't.
Yasin's like, don't sign me up for that.
And look, just one more time, I want to say I'm sorry about Nim. What we're doing here, it matters, right? Like we're going to avenge her death. This isn't just for nothing, right?
We're gonna try to get her back.
Just
All right, I can get behind that. Damn straight, we're going to get it back. We'll find a way. All right, well, Admiral, the deck is yours. Have fun with your ships. Ladies, you'll follow me. And if everybody's willing, you are all ready to go. Walk across the plank to the other ship.
I'm gonna say
the one
bye to them. I don't know.
Bye to you.
Land high five. Team, go.
Go team. All right.
The one arm.
Military. Yeah, the one arm team. We're breaking up the one arm team. It's okay. Good luck.
Wave with our one arms.
Keladri, Estrella, Grim, and Captain Cassire walk across the plank along with a few other crew members who have the last bit of supplies that they're carrying on their backs. And you all head over to Cassire's ship, the one that he commands from. And as the plank is withdrawn and the sails are unfurled, the anchors are rowed up, you see the two ships, the High Phoenix and Cassire's, kind of turn and part from each other. And Cassire calls out, Admiral Yeltsin! Just want to let you know, I'll name this one the Blue Devil on account of a captain. I hope that's all right. Anyway, good luck.
Oh. Lovable scene.
I just like that. And the two ships
a tear
in
I
the
like
night.
proud of him, like
He's a proud dad.
Proud dad moment. Oh,
And so the High Phoenix and the Blue Devil part ways with their sister ships. Cassire gets up to the helm and relieves the helmsman there, and he goes, all right, setting course for the Isle of Dragons and Her Majesty the Queen of the Beasties. And he just like does this big elaborate wheel turn, all arrogant, catches it halfway as the wind picks up, and it goes, it's gonna be smooth sailing tonight, ladies. Off we go.
After we all fell off the ship already.
Really bad eggs, drink up, be hearty, yo ho. And off they go. What would the group like to do for your 5-day journey? We don't have to role play 5 days.
every single day.
We don't-
But every single day at sundown, Mud calls you on the stone of hearts.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Because we already know how Yasin and Kieran do not call it unless it's random and like months later.
What are these conversations like? Like, what are you're initiating
She's
them
gonna be like,
every night at sundown? What are you saying?
My-
Night one, check in.
Coming in.
did you say day one check-in?
Oh, I have 4 of these, right? The echo is quite bad.
Whose mic is echoing?
Yasin, turn it off. Turn it off.
Makes that high
So yeah,
pitch.
so every night Mud does her call, which is great. Yasin, do you continue training
Every day.
Yes.
That's right. That's
every
right.
day?
I'm
So
run you ragged, boy.
after 5 days of training with Mud, Yasin, 2 things happen. One, you're getting a nice cut. Like your body is as people like as they watch you, you are transforming in front of their eyes. You were never a unfit admiral, but you had large muscles, not a lot of cut and definition to them. But eating sea rations and just training until death with Mud, you start to see, a 6-pack and then an 8-pack start to appear. Your arms have a nice cut, shoulder definition. You're looking good in your admiral's clothing, and you're noticing that the coat, which at first was just a chore to put on every morning, your thighs burned, your shoulders ached. On the 5th night, as you kind of sit back at the table with your crew and you're talking and laughing and drinking, it doesn't feel heavy anymore. In fact, you don't even notice its weight. To you, it feels 100% normal. And so, Yasin, you are halfway through your training. Another week of training like this, and you will be able to take off your jacket and double your speed and increase your attack chances. But for right now, you have no penalties. You are stronger and better for your training. And Mud, you've been pushing yourself as well in these training sessions. And you and Yormkin have finally started to reach an actual training regimen with Yasin and some of the other crew, where Yormkin is lifting what he can lift. And all of you together have gotten stronger. Your maul, you can wield it faster than before. And so if training is a part of your regular regimen, there are advantages that we could look at with you for that. But everybody's got just a nice kind of healthy swollenness to them.
Our ship is gonna be jacked. Nothing's gonna take us down, man.
What else have some of
They
you
are
been
the
doing? Kieran, Yasin, Mud, anything else during this 5-day trip that you have done? Anything special you want to call out?
I'm gonna basically do my astral shift every so often and just kind of extend my endurance in that. I kind of keep it open for as long as I can.
Is
Not
this something
necessarily
you
a full
do?
So what?
When do you do this? A morning ritual, a nightly ritual? When do you kind of go through this astral training?
It's an evening ritual. And I'll just do it probably for 3 or 4 hours.
Roll combine your athletics and your arcana and then roll a d20 for me.
What? Why did I close it? No, my stat sheet. Sorry, hang on.
You're good.
Opening the app again. Noob. What was it? Strength and
Arcana and athletics.
Arcana athletics. Yes. Arcana athletics. That is 19. Math.
On your first and second and third night, you don't see a massive improvement with this training. You extend yourself, you hold yourself open to this astral plane, you try to connect with it, flow through it, and it's exhausting. And you notice that it's almost counterproductive at first. You almost feel like your bubble is getting smaller as you train. But you persevere, you keep pushing. And on your fifth night, there's a breakthrough that happens with you. For a moment, as you extend yourself in the astral plane, you feel your arm and the side of your face. And when you open your eyes to check, for just a few seconds, you see a hand in front of you that turns back and forth. It looks like the astral plane itself, a nebula of colors and light, but it's solid. You make a fist and you can feel your fist. And in those seconds, you have a hand and a face, but then you watch as you start to see through it, and your vision shifts as you lose the ability to perceive in 3 dimensions. You lose that telescopic vision that we have with our 2 eyes, and it goes back to your single sight, and your hand wisps and changes and fades out in front of you. But for a moment, you manifested the rest of your body as a solid astral projection.
I'm gonna keep working on that. Phantom arm.
You'll definitely have more opportunities to train that, but as you increase in your proficiency with this, just the way Yasin and the others are training, the harder you train, you will be able to summon an astral arm, to actually have 2 hands again, and to flesh out the rest of your face, and to be whole in that fashion.
That's awesome. I'm gonna that just on that night, I'm gonna try again, even though it's gonna probably knock me out and I'll go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Exhaustion, but I'm just gonna try and like hold it and see how long I can hold it, even though I know it's not super stable.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Sorry, my numbers are all over the place. That's a 19 also.
Okay.
Numbers.
As you extend yourself one more time, you reach out to the cup that's in front of you, grab it, and you pick it up. And you take a sip of the water with this astral hand and put it back down. And as you put the cup down, your vision blurs and you pass out. But you did it. You touched an object with your astral form. And that's it. And you are out stone cold for the night. But that's okay. You're in the comfort of your cabin. It is safe. And when you wake up, no lasting damage will have been done. Let's shift over to the other ship, where we have Keladri, Grim, Estrella, Hiccup. You've also been voyaging for 5 days and nights. What have you been doing?
I guess working with Hiccup.
Okay, so you spend time working with Hiccup. I want you to roll a roll Arcana, add your history to it, and let's see what you get. So combine Arcana and history and roll a d20. There's like some weird training.
The extras. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Just
got
weird
really
training everyone's doing, because like I would want you to roll for mechanicalness or something, or roll for, specifics that D&D doesn't quite have. So what'd you get?
18.
18. So is this something that you do like every night, every morning, midday? When do you work with Hiccup on combining this weapon?
I figured like a good chunk of the day.
Okay.
But I guess like whenever he's available.
He's not going, he's got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to go. I'm just here to let's work. All right. And so the two of you spend most every day after breakfast, you just huddle together in different parts of the ship and start tinkering. And there are a couple of times where Hiccup has shorted your arm out and your fingers have kind of gone and done weird things. And there are some painful moments throughout it, but throughout the course of the 5 days, not only have you gained a better understanding of your arm and how it functions, but now you start to understand what functions you can limit to make others stronger. So right now, your arm is just balanced. I can grab things, I can, whatever. It functions like a normal hand, but you start to learn that if you increase certain servos, you can augment your strength. If you decrease other servos, you feel a lighter hand, as if your speed would increase. So you're starting to notice that you can adjust your arm for different situations. But by the end of the 5th day, you hear the rest of the crew can hear Hiccup go, yeah, hell yeah. And the two of you have managed to successfully integrate the lightsaber into your arm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The way it functions is that when your hand is in a balanced mode, you're able to flex your wrist with a closed fist, and you can almost like a muscle feel the lightsaber shift from its housing inside your forearm, and it comes out and forward just enough that you can grab the edge of it. It's still a part of your arm. It's not a separate piece. It's fully integrated into you, but you can grab the edge of it and ignite it.
Ooh, I like
so
that
now-
it's stuck to me.
Yes, it is stuck to you. Rather than being in a casing, it is fully integrated. And then
Because
as
I
you,
have an idea if it wasn't. I would like think I could put a chain on it so it wouldn't get lost.
well, that's not a bad idea, but it's a part of you. It's in there. What Hiccup had to do, and he's like, yeah, the best way for us to kind of get this to work was really to fully integrate it with your system. So you notice, and he's like, this is the breakthrough right here. And he's kind of showing you the mechanics of it, and you fully understand it. Like, this is, if you needed to, you could break apart your arm and put it back together. You've gained that much knowledge.
Oh man.
You know that where your power source is for your arm, where it kind of connects with the arcana magic that's within you that keeps this working. He connected the power source of the crystal itself. And so the Kyber crystal is first embedded right by your elbow, right where that joint is. And then the blade travels up this hilt up to where you can grab it. And so the Kyber crystal, it's a permanent part of you now, no matter what happens. If you lose the hilt, if it's ripped from you, that's a part of the core structure of your arm. It's almost the heartbeat of it, if you will. I don't know what that means for the future, but at least for right now, you can summon that blade right out your hand, and that's pretty badass, if you ask me.
Sounds good.
God.
I guess I also, when we're not working on the auto mail, I want to try to use the ring, or at least, what's it called? Meditate? Like function with the death ring,
Yes.
or whatever it's called.
Yes, the ring of the dead or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that. It doesn't take you long. Most nights you spend kind of meditating, concentrating, unlocking its abilities, and you see it in your mind almost like doors. And as you unlock another door, more of the ring's properties are made known to you until eventually you fully align with the ring. It is attuned to you, and its full potential is yours. So you can use it without any risk of damage to yourself. You also, in that time, connect to your scythe. It's almost impossible not to, because as you connect with the plane of death to unlock the ring's power, you realize how strong a presence your scythe has in that plane. It looks more powerful than what you can summon. You see it in the plane of death as a mighty weapon that can hold souls and emit them as energy and use them in combat. But for now, you can only summon a fraction of that scythe. It's almost within your reach to get its full potential. But what you do know is that your scythe currently holds 3 souls in it already, from your previous battle. You can feel them, and you can almost talk to them. It's a little creepy. But what you also know is that the scythe has a voice, separate from Alexander. And Alexander has spent many nights talking with you about the scythe and his both excitement and concerns over it. The scythe is its own creature. It's a cursed item. It's bound to you. It will never let you go. And if you die while wielding it, I think you might actually become a part of it. Food for thought. Is there anything else Grim wants to do during this voyage?
No. Sorry.
Caladri, what about you? What are you doing during these 5 days?
Okay, so I had a thought. I don't know if this would be possible, but maybe if Caladri works on coming in contact with her portal power, like the powers, by trying to call up the her like home memories. Do you think
Yep.
it's possible for her to learn how to teleport short distances before she could make the bigger jumps from world to world?
Ooh. Let's find out.
That's cool.
Do you want to try to teleport yourself during these 5 days?
I think so. Yes.
Oh,
This may. I hope she knows how to swim.
Yep.
Misses the boat.
I'll get a life vest before I try.
make a wisdom saving throw. As Caladri is doing that, so those of you on the boat, and Captain Cassire has really just taking a liking to watching Caladri, because she's the honest one on the boat right now. She paces up and down the forward deck, holding nothing in her hands, but in her mind's eye, she's holding this sphere, trying to imagine home, trying to contain this portal energy and to do something with it. And you've taken to just pacing the ship, and he's been, love, what are you doing there? And so what did you get on your wisdom saving throw?
17.
Oh, nice. Well done. As he watches, you take this step, and instead of moving 1 foot forward on the deck, you move to the edge of the deck, right by the railing that leads to the prow at the front. Basically, you travel 15 feet just by stepping forward. And Captain Cassire goes, "The bloody hell!" No. And you look behind you, and you just take a step and blink back. Oh, I did see. Caladri, did you just freaking portal jump? Was that like a misty step? What the hell were you doing, girl?
I don't know. We're just testing some stuff out. I'm not.
Right, that test away. That's good. Wow, okay, that's impressive. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty damn impressive. what you've unlocked, Keladri, in your time training with your inner portal powers is the ability to teleport. For right now, you can safely move 30 feet in any direction you choose, up or down, forward, back, 2 times. Because after this second portal jump, you feel your entire connection to just drops, and everything is gone and you are exhausted. But that is just where you are right now with the ability. It can level up per time, over time, including distance and duration. You know, how many times you can do that. For now, 2 times, 30 feet.
Am I able to like take things or people with me when I teleport?
You can certainly try. You can't tell you what happens until you
Wish
try.
me luck yet.
Imagine like
It's like
the pig on Galaxy Quest that gets turned inside out.
gas iron. No, I mean, this half over here that have give my legs back.
I would recommend caution at first.
So I'll go with Kieran first.
Oh,
All right, he's already lost half, right? He's fine.
lose much more.
Okay.
So that leaves Estrella. During this 5-day voyage, what have you been doing?
Estrella has set up an altar downstairs to Lunas that she has been meditating at. It's got whatever candles I
Yeah.
snatched last time I did this. It's got candles. It's probably got, if I still have my book, it's probably
Yeah.
I've got that out and open. And I've just been meditating and trying to restore that connection.
Each time that you have meditated, each day that you've gone through your routine, you've been reliving another part of your history. Your training has come back to you stronger and more vibrant than ever. You understand what it takes to be a cleric, not just to heal somebody, but to take their pain as your own and then to wash it away. You remember what it was like to train with the paladins, and some of that fight training you've forgotten over the years, the way that they could form barriers out of pure light. And you start to realize that your shield, the master's shield that you've been carrying since Hyrule, has an incredibly strong connection to light magic. And while it's not specifically like Lunas, you realize that the goddess Hylia and the goddess Lunas are not so different from each other. Their magics are similar. And as you go through this, you are actually unlocking the potential of that shield, the way a paladin would. And so what has been leveling up with you is your shield. It has gotten stronger. It is gained a new ability. I don't know what it is yet because I read it down somewhere, but you have successfully leveled up your shield. And it can do more than it did before. The Master's Shield now feels comfortable, light, powerful. It's more than just a barrier to block an incoming attack. You see it as an extension of yourself. The one thing that you have not done is talked with Lunas herself yet. But you feel that you have gotten close. But something's missing. Not something that you can place your hand on just yet, but there's something missing, something that one last stage of connection that you need to make. I want you to roll a history check for me.
That's a 9.
Okay. On your final night of meditating, you gain a glimpse of what that missing piece might be. You remember a conversation that you had with Laodan. The two of you have been training now for a better part of 5 years. And in that time, the two of you have become pretty close enemies. Like you know each other well, you know each other's strengths and weaknesses. You've trained in combat, you've trained in medicine, you've sung hymns next to him and know that his tone is shit. Like you know way more about each other than you want to. And you just have not made friends with this guy. He doesn't want to make friends with you. And you remember the conversation that he had with you, the one that first came to mind. You know, you really take this all too nonchalant. Do you even know what it means to be a follower of Lunas? Honestly. And in this moment, you can respond. You are you back then. Say whatever you wish to say.
Um,
Just stick your tongue out at him. Just
See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
oh,
The first reaction is to stick your tongue. Do you realize that I'm up every morning? That I am the last to go to sleep every night? And you know what I do with my day? I devote it to her. I read, I sing, I pray. I do it day in and day out. And even I have not reached what it means to be a true paladin in this order. But you play games with the other kids. You run around doing arts and crafts. You don't take anything seriously. The last time I heard you sing with your heart was probably years ago. So what's it mean being here to you, Estrella?
it. Oh gosh. Estrella's gonna take a moment. A few moments. You know what? Estrella's gonna have a heart to heart, an awkward heart to heart, and maybe let this asshole know why she's there.
Mhm.
Everyone's on a different journey and she's figuring things out on a different timeline, and it's not a competition.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Not a competition. You know, we all have sad stories, Estrella.
Don't have dead parents. It's D&D.
I want you to make a persuasion check.
Oh god.
I want to see the impact your story has on him. I'm not just going to play him out as the asshole. Let's see if you actually got through to him in this moment.
That is a 17.
So here's what happens.
Crunching.
As he says, everyone has a sad story, Estrella. In that moment, you look into his eyes and you feel tears start coming down your face, but you don't blink, you don't move, you just stare at him with the last words you said, that we're all on our own path, that this isn't a competition, we're all getting there. And you watch tears start to form in his eyes. And he refuses to blink and he won't look away, but his face gets red and you see veins popping out on his neck, like he's trying to hold it back. And he just starts to cry in front of you, hot, angry tears just falling down Laodan's face. And he looks at you. My entire life, has been a competition, Estrella. If I'm not the best, if I'm not perfect, if I don't get this just right, then they've all died for nothing. Do you understand, Estrella? That my family would have died for nothing because I wasn't strong enough then. I couldn't do anything for them. And I'll be damned if I'm in that place one more time. So you walk your path and you take your time. And you're right, we make it there together. But I have to get there first. And he just turns and walks away. As your memory fades of that moment, when you stood up to Laoden, you hear a voice in your head. Yes, Estrella. Yes. It is not about how fast you move. It's not about how high you climb or how loud you sing. It's just that you're taking a step every day. And on the days you can't take that step, Estrella, I will carry you. And as you open your eyes, you look down and you are not touching the ground. You are floating about 2 feet, just barely. And as you look to your left and right, trying to figure out what's going on, you see wings. Brilliant white and gold. And you hear Lunas say, I will always hold you, Estrella. All you have to do is ask. And you feel the wings fade and your body slowly come to the ground as you touch. And that hole in your heart where Lunas used to be is filled again. Not with the same feeling that you had before, but with something new, something meaningful, something personal. Your connection with Lunas now has changed. She's not someone that you summon and bring before you. She's someone who lives within you and comes forth out of you. Lunas has granted you the power of her wings. As you meditate and grow and evolve, you will be able to call on Lunas more and more, stronger and stronger. And each time you do, her powers will become yours. It starts with the wings, and it will grow from there. All of you have had moments where you have grown physically, emotionally, spiritually, and magically. You have all gained new insights about yourselves and each other. And at least in your smaller groups have definitely grown closer. But there's one person who has not fully opened up. Mud. On this journey,
That-
what have you done? And what have others on the journey with her done to reach her? Because Mud has been who Mud has always been, quiet, in the background, willing to train and to have a good fight or a good drink, but not quickly opening up. So Yasin and Kieran, have the two of you done anything to try and connect to Mud, to reach Mud? Kieran, you know her. She's your Mud from your timeline.
Mud fills a lot
Oh,
of her time.
Kieran was talking, I couldn't hear him.
So sorry.
That's it. That's it. Go for it. Go. You go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say Mud fills a lot of her time just trying to do either manual labor around the ship. She always has her time with the workout buddies. And then when she doesn't have things to do, she does just kind of look lost. She's always like the last one up, just kind of roaming the ship. She's not used to being stuck in one spot. So
Hmm.
I'll having like been spending a lot of time in the astral plane, kind of mentally like connecting almost to that memory string and reliving those memories over and over again. I'll kind of like regain my bearings and I'll search her out and kind of look for her, see where she's at.
Where are you right now in this moment on the fifth night?
I'd probably be up on deck. She doesn't like being below deck mostly. Feels a little claustrophobic for her, a little tight. She has to duck, so
Oh.
So yeah, Kieran, you find Mud out on the prow of the ship. The stars are brilliant this evening, and it's very late into the night. You have slept most of the night away, Kieran, recovering from grabbing that cup in your astral form, but you wake earlier than the others to find Mud in the last hours of the third watch, just looking over the prow of the ship.
I'm sorry I haven't been myself lately. It's been a interesting journey for me, but I would love to know your side of the story, because last we saw each other, and I'll just kind of like the residual after effects of me being in the astral plane just kind of flickers the memory in my mind and also hers, as if like not wanting to say it just because it's pretty painful, but also just kind of sharing that knowledge or that moment. Where have you been, and how did you what happened?
well, I haven't seen you in 10 years. So you changing isn't very surprising to me. Last I know, we all ended up on Narshada. Some of us to the arena, some of us other places. But in the end, they all ended up there with us. Minus you, I have no idea where you went. But I just slowly watched them all die. And there was nothing I could do about it.
I know that feeling. I watched all of you die. At least I thought I remembered it that way. I know what it's like to feel alone and displaced. And to be completely honest, I don't feel like I've completely found my way even after a decade of this mess. So it hasn't been that for me. I'm so sorry that it's been that for you. 10 years in a foreign land without any support system couldn't have been easy. So almost you had, for lack of better terms, the worst hand in this story. And somehow I feel partially responsible,
Oh,
having started most of it.
no. Sometimes I wonder if I had it worse off or better. They didn't go in good ways. I made the name for myself, but that was to survive, keep fed. Don't know. Nim was a bright spot for me. And I regret not helping her with her curse before she left. But I think I can make it up with you guys. At least I want to.
You know, every single one of us in the party has a choice that could possibly lead to our inevitable doom, or whatever victory seems to look like. I think you and I have something different, that we have a view outside of that choice. And maybe you and I can team up to prevent that inevitable doom that we both know from happening.
I will do everything within my power to stop it.
I'll kind of do the little like that.
Make a strength saving throw for me. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Just the fact Mud doesn't move, and you probably touched her elbow instead of her actual shoulder, unless you're
What'd
like,
you get? What'd you get?
Okay, so that's like a 9.
So as you try to move Mud, you actually kind of rock your own body away from her. And Mud just kind of, she kind of looks at you like,
I'm just weak from practice.
Exactly.
you should join when we work out. I mean, you only have one arm, but you can make that one arm.
Sure. I'll try. What's
It's
your
okay. We will start you off with the beginner's weight. It's fine.
At this moment, the two of you notice a couple of things. One, the sun is starting to rise. And on both ships, you see it happening over different horizons. But the sun is rising now on the last day of your voyage. Yasin and Captain Cassire, both at the helms of their ship early in the morning, getting in that last bit of starlight as the sun peaks over the horizon. Yes.
I just want to backtrack just a second, and for
please.
Yasin was like you were saying, was coming up early to like the last day of this journey, and I envision him just hiding behind some barrels and listening to Mud and Mud and Kieran, and he's just like
Yeah.
silently weeping, and then he like straightens up. Morning. Good morning. Just really gruff.
Are you all right?
Oh, morning.
Air, it irritates me.
Oh my
I
gosh, that's
forgot
amazing.
Captain.
A water genasi is bothered by
Salt air.
salt water?
He's allergic to breeze.
I'm looking at mud, and then just and then
Oh.
It's like just puts one arm out. Good morning.
I thought you were saying good boy. I thought you were like good boy.
Oh, yeah, like pull away, like as you were.
With the tears. With the tears.
I love it.
I got my boys. I got bros. No, I'm good.
Kieran and Mud, do you join Admiral Yasin at the helm?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's impressive looking. Sure.
Yep. And so the three of you up there together as Yasin, as you relieve the night helmsman who kind of dips his head to Sark and moves away. Others are starting to wake up and move around as the sun rises. Captain Cassire on the other side greets Estrella, Grim, and Keladri with a kind of a wink and a nod. Ladies, if you look out over the starboard side, I think you'll like what you see. As all of you look out over the ships that you are on, you see land. For Yasin and his crew, it is a mighty mountain that rises into the sky. The sun cresting just behind it as it rises up, making the mountain look as if it is on fire. From this distance, you can see that the mountain has holes spread throughout it where steam and smoke rise up. And as the ship barrels closer, you can see that those holes are attached to mighty machines, cogs and pistons that turn and move as if this mountain is alive. It is not just a piece of rock out in the middle of the ocean. It is a machine fortress. For Captain Persian and his crew, you look out to see a lush green valley that dips into a cauldron. So rather than a mountain that rises up, you see a valley that dips down and around the water. He expertly brings the boat and shifts it around this makeshift island. And you can see villages built into the green landscape, made of wood and stone and mud. Inside, waking up to greet the sun, is an assortment of lizard folk and dragonborn, scaled people that walk out. The lizard folk, you can tell, are smaller, a little bit more lizard-like than the dragonborn, who are taller and mighty, broad-chested, some with wings, others with mighty horns that raise up. And you see them starting their day, taking kids out and putting them on their shoulder as they go to fish. Others start to gather baskets as they go into the jungle behind them to gather fruits for the night. And others take to the sky to be joined by others as you hear this chorus of song. You can tell it's in Draconic, and you know it's a greeting. A greeting to the dragon that raises the sun to the sky. And a lullaby to the dragon that sleeps with the moon. And in the very distance, furthest back, where there is a castle embedded into the side of this valley, you see two dragons come down from the clouds and land upon its top. And they roar a mighty cry together. A dragon of white and a dragon of green. And they call their greeting to the sun. And the people below cheer these two mighty dragons. And even Toothless can't help but emit a roar himself. And then the dragons dip into the valley and disappear. The two vessels, or your two parties in your vessels, approach the shores. And I am looking for the song. There we go. And each of you receives a similar greeting. Dragonborn approach the dock where the blue demon sets up birth. Dwarves rush to the dock of the High Phoenix. There's weapons brandished and voices raised, screaming out, "What are you doing here? You're not welcome here. You should be leaving. How dare you bring outsiders? What are they doing? Kill them all. We should kill them as a sacrifice."
Oh no.
That's automatic hostility.
And that is where we end tonight's episode.
Which crew are they yelling at? My crew.
Yours, not